And this is the first time, really, people that follow you on Instagram have seen you or heard about you. It's the first time we've seen your face. We normally see your bottom.
It is, yeah.
So welcome.
Thank you.
Why did you decide to do the blog and the Instagram? Because this is something very personal, isn't it? Which most men don't talk about, which we'll discuss in a moment.
But why did you talk about? Most men have never heard of this. So what is this condition?
It's called delayed ejaculation. In terms of a condition, I mean, it's just something I've always had. The first time I ever had sex, it just didn't happen. I didn't.
So it doesn't happen. Does it happen eventually? Does it happen half an hour later? It just doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
But what's the difference between delayed and not happening?
Well, I think it's the wrong terminology. It shouldn't be called delayed.
Right, gotcha.
There are other names for it.
Non-orgasm or non...
Yeah. I mean, it does happen sometimes.
So how old when that first happened to you?
I was 18.
18.
Yeah.
So did you seek medical advice? Did you talk to anybody about it at the time?
No, I didn't have any preconceptions. I had sex and it didn't happen. And
so when did you think this is actually going to be a problem for me?
At the age of 30, I started to think, through my 20s, it'd been a bit of a laugh. You know, the lads would kind of call it a bit of a gift. You know, you can go on forever.
Staying power.
Staying power, exactly, yeah. And then, but at the age of 30, I started to think, well, you know, family, and this had affected a few relationships negatively, and it was something I didn't want in my life anymore. And
it was somebody you met who was a life coach, psychologist, or something, that you decided to talk to her that made you think, I need to really be open about this.
Totally. Well, she was helping my flatmate who had an injury through rugby, and I was like, well, if you're helping him with an injury, you know, how about this? Can I talk to you about this? And she was like, yeah, of course. Well, you know, we can help you with that. So we started having the conversation, and she completely rewired my whole mind. And I think initially I always thought this was something physically that was existing, and it was just the way it was. And then she taught me that actually this is probably something that arrived mentally.
OK, well, let's bring the doctor in at this stage. Doctor, why is it not happening for Ben?
So your delayed ejaculation, delayed orgasm, anorgasmia is the medical term for it, is essentially the failure to reach orgasm or the difficulty to reach orgasm despite sufficient sexual stimulation. It's very common for men and women to have a temporary difficulty achieving orgasm. For example, if you're stressed, if you're anxious, if you're drunk. That's not unusual. What is unusual is for it to be a persistent problem. We think it affects far more women than men. We think it affects about 5% of women. It's much rarer in men, even rarer in young men. And it can have a massively significant impact on your mental well-being, quite understandably.
Well, that's really where it comes back to you, Ben. You're not a professor. I mean, that's your Instagram name, the Naked Professor. It did affect you mentally. And that's why you decided to do the Instagram. What reaction have you had? And why do you do it naked? Just to get attention, or...?
Primarily. I mean, my message is about... Well, the whole mental aspect has been very much around... I don't think I was very vulnerable. I think I was inauthentic, and I was being... sort of following society. I was just being my way, and I don't think that was working for me, and I think that was part of the issue, if I'm honest.
Making you anxious?
Yeah, part of the anxiety, yeah, and exactly. And so I wanted to do something. Over the course of learning about what was going on here, I was growing mentally and started to embrace vulnerability, started to embrace freedom and trying to represent who I really was. So I started writing about this stuff, but I knew I needed a story, a tagline, a USP that might sort of get people's attention to see what I was writing about, because if there's so much noise now, if you're putting the stuff on the internet, who's actually going to see it unless there's a catch? And the images represent the vulnerability that I'm trying to embrace, the freedom.
You're talking about people seeing you through the noise. What about people seeing you in the nude?
Yeah.
And how do you get away with that, or what sort of reaction do you have to that?
I'm really lucky. I haven't had any negativity whatsoever, which is great. And if I do, that's fine, because people are entitled to their opinion.
But these are very public places, so you're doing this, very early in the morning when no one's around?
Yeah, we're really careful. We're not here to offend anyone, so it's really early
You
in the
don't
morning.
get a tap on the shoulder and say, hello, hello, hello. The police not there. Have you never had any situations like that? No?
It's not illegal to be naked in public. It's illegal to cause offence. So as long as there's no one there, then it's...
So as long, you can be naked, and if they admire you, it's fine. If you offend people being naked, it's an offence, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, in theory, yeah. That's right. So we're not going to take the risk whether people like it or not. So as long as no one's there, we're really quick in getting the image done.
So the message is to raise awareness, obviously, of this condition. Is there something medically can be done for people with this condition?
So, firstly, I've got to say, I take my hat off to you for talking about this, because I think you all have helped so many people already, and by doing this. Now, the vast majority of people that have this issue, it is probably 9 times out of 10 a psychological problem. There are a small proportion of people who have a medical issue that can be treatable. So if anyone's going through this, first and foremost, go and see your doctor. They will check you out from a medical perspective to see if there's a treatable condition there. For example, you might have to look at your alcohol intake, you might have to look at whether you've got something like diabetes or whether you're on certain medication. Now, if that's not identified, then you need to go down the psychological route, and that could be talking therapies, that could be sexual therapy, psychotherapy, and some people do benefit from taking certain medications that may help you.
And have you done anything like
I've done everything, really. I've tried all sorts of different medicines. I've tried urologists, I've tried doctors, I've tried hypnotherapy, I've tried everything, and nothing's worked specifically for that, but it has made me grow as a person. So there's almost an element of me being thankful to it, and I believe this, that everything shows up in your life for a reason, because it's changed me as a person. And it's helped me grow into who I am today, and led to me
So you're
doing the
just
blog.
living with the condition, dealing with the condition?
I am, yeah. I believe that everything's there for a reason, and I also think everything will teach you, will stay with you until it's taught you the lesson it was there to teach you. And I think this has taught me a lesson, but it's not quite ready yet to...
Well, it's very nice to see your face today. We've seen you on Instagram, and that's Ben, the naked professor. Thank you, Dr. Ranj.